I'm going to show you guys how to get the best timbale tone with a simple steel snare drum. The timbale is usually used in reggae music as a side snare or an aux snare. The sound of a timbale can usually be heard inside of salsa music, soca, or any salsa dancing music, but also it's very prevalent in old reggae and new reggae. There's a little hack you can do. Instead of buying an actual timbale, you get a steel snare drum that you have laying around, or go buy like a $100 snare. And the key to this is taking off the bottom resonant head. I have a Pearl Chad Smith signature steel snare drum. I know this snare is probably amazing as a snare drum, but I highly recommend Remo Ambassador, a clear 1-ply Remo Ambassador. And then what you're gonna wanna do is tune it until it's cranked as much as you can tune it. And then once you get it tight enough, then start hitting close to the lugs near the rim and tune to get it nice and dialed so that all the lugs have equal tone or pitch. I'm not gonna show you guys how I tune the drum. All you need to know is that you need to tune it as much as you can. You also don't wanna go too high because it might choke some of the tone. I can barely push in. It's cranked. Now let's jump over to a pre-recorded session I had of this timbale, and I'll show you the mic placement that I had for it. If you guys are curious about the microphone and placement, I'm using a Mojave Audio MAD cardioid dynamic microphone. I'll put links in the description below. But basically the placement I have is a little bit right over the rim, as you can see, and then about 2 fingers apart from the rim. And I'm also running the timbale through my Rupert Neve 511 pre. I'm gonna show you what it sounds like fully processed. Here we go. Okay, so that is with EQ, a little bit of compression, and some reverb. So here is my drum bus. My other drum bus, I duplicated it without processing. Okay, that's a dry signal going in. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm working with. I'm gonna unbypass this. I'm gonna turn these off. It did not take a lot at all to get to this point. Okay, this is a timbale soloed. That's how it sounds coming in. I high passed it at about 160, and then I didn't add any low frequencies. I added about 6 dB of 1.6 kilohertz. So here's how it sounds with that. Here's off. On, off, on. And then I added about 5 dB of 10 kilohertz. Off, on. Okay, and then I did a 4:1 ratio, minus 6 dB on the threshold, because I brought the clip gain down pretty low because I'm actually mixing this into a song. And then auto recovery, put it in. There's like maybe 4 dB, minus 4 dB of gain reduction. So now I have a spring reverb that I use within reason and a plate reverb. It's on just a little bit. Here is what it sounds like processed. Sounds really good. Let's do it with some bass. I'm not going to play the whole thing because when this comes out, I don't want this to get a copyright flag. Yeah, the best way I can describe it is not a lot of attack at all, like barely any compression, not a lot of attack. It's on auto recovery, so I barely dialed in any of the settings to get it good. It's all about how you tune it and the mic placement, and it could be a SM57, you can use an i5, it doesn't really matter. That's basically it. I'll play it one more time. Soloed. It also has a lot to do with mic placement on the drums overall. Here's with the overheads. Here's without the overheads, coming up here in a second. It sounds a little different. You want a little bit of like nuance and timbre from the room. And here's the whole kit again. That's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching the video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any video topics that you'd like me to dive into relating some reggae or production or mixing, let me know in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much. See y'all on the next video.